I've been a proud rural American my entire life. But the truth is, in rural America, poverty is higher, wages are lower, and jobs are far and few between.
Florida beaches are empty because racism don't pay the bills. Now, those beaches and businesses are empty in Florida, and the business owners are scratching their head. They're like, I don't understand what's happening and why this is going on. This is what happens when you build your entire platform on bigotry and fear. When you spend years attacking immigrants, the very people who visit your state, spend money in your hotels, eat at your restaurants, buy your tacky ass beach tiles, don't act shocked when they stop showing up. And understand, it's not just tourists who aren't coming to Florida. When you squeeze the working class like a lemon, there is no juice left for joy. You think people got beach money right now? People can't even afford to go outside. And all those Trump tariffs, those weren't on corporations. Those were Trump taxes on us. Prices went up, jobs got cut, and now folks are choosing between groceries and gas, not plane tickets to Clearwater. And y'all made Florida a hostile environment, honestly. And not just for immigrants, but also for black people, LGBTQ, teachers, hell, even librarians. Y'all made the beach a battleground. So now it's just you and those overpriced souvenir stands collecting dust. And now conservative business owners are mad. But they're mad at the consequences of the policies that they voted for. Baby, this ain't karma. This is cause and effect. Conservative policies destroy communities, period. So ask yourself, how long are you guys going to continue to vote against your own business?
Hello, brothers and sisters. I really hope you're all doing fine from wherever you are watching me from now. A lot of white MAGA supporters are now calling out the black community for help. Now, most of them are now realizing that they voted against themselves. They voted against their own interest, and it is now not working for them anymore. They thought they were punishing other minority groups in the US, but they are later on realizing that they are punishing themselves. The tariffs are hitting them so hard. Their businesses are collapsing and the farms are no longer producing. So let's watch this video, then have a really quick discussion at the end of it. Thank you so much.
Oh, MAGA, you're in trouble. Apparently there's a shortage of workers on the farm. But don't worry, MAGA. Brooke Collins, who heads agriculture, says that she has a solution. Seems like Trump and Brooke Collins have put their heads together and come up with a solution to solve the problem on the farms losing workers. Let's watch the video and see what Brooke Collins has to say to solve this issue.
Score enough. There will be no amnesty. The mass deportations continue, but in a strategic way, and we move the workforce towards automation and 100% American participation, which again, with 34 million people, able-bodied adults on Medicaid, we should be able to do that fairly quickly. Thank you.
Did you hear that, MAGA? They're saying if you're able-bodied and on Medicaid, you are going to work in the fields. MAGA, this is where it hits you. You're going to work in the fields. And you're going to see what it's like for these undocumented immigrants to come to America and work a hard day's labor in the American fields. Get ready to pack up Mima and Pop-Pop and put them on a bus and send them to the fields, MAGA. That's what you voted for, and that's what you deserve. Tell me what you guys think about this in the comments. Have a day.
And here's another cold hard fact. Beginning with the New Deal, continuing through to the Great Society, and ending just recently with the President's infrastructure bill, the Democrats in both rural and urban America have fought to provide a social safety net that's much needed in rural America while offering targeted incentives to help rural America grow. And our question is, when are conservatives in rural America going to join us in the fight? Hi guys, my name's Will, your favorite rural campaign and elections expert, and let's talk about it. Here are some hard facts we have to come to terms with in rural America. Nearly 75% of the poor living in rural America come from southern Republican states. Both poverty and our dependence on the social safety net is higher in rural America than it is in our cities and suburbs. In every section of America,
I don't care. I don't fucking care. All these videos on this app about how in 3 weeks the grocery stores are going to be empty, good. Fucking let that fucking play out. Okay, take some precautions, but let that shit play out. Farmers on this app boo-hooing because they're losing their farms, fuck all the way off. What did you think was going to happen? Joe Biden bailed you out, then you turned around and voted for Trump. So yeah, I'm glad that all your government grants and bailouts and farmer welfare got taken away from you. And I hope to God a Democrat buys your land and it's profitable. Truckers. Oh my God, the amount of truckers on my algorithm right now boo-hooing that they don't have any loads, which by the way, at first is kind of funny. But what? 90% of you voted for this. What the fuck did you think was going to happen when he tariffed the whole world and there was going to be no product to move around the country? Hello? Oh my God. Oh my God. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm scared to death of the fucking shitstorm that we are all about to fucking walk through. And the longevity of those empty shelves fucking keeps me up at night. But the only thing that keeps me going is that any day it could happen.
I don't know if it's just me or what, but I was so excited for Trump to get back into office. For what? For what? I mean, prices are still bad. They're rising. Hell, everybody's struggling. I mean, wasn't you supposed to help us? Wasn't you supposed to? But he's not worried about us because, I mean, he's balling. He's rich. He ain't worried about it.
These prices are way too expensive. Everything is going up every single day. Yeah, tariffs. Yeah, they're supposed to make the country great and bring all this money in, but who pays the tariff costs, guys? American citizens pay the tariff costs. It's not these other countries. It's not the companies. They're just passing the cost and the burden down onto the consumer.
I asked ChatGPT to give me a list of the top 10 most hardcore DJT states. And this is the list that it gave me: Wyoming, West Virginia, North Dakota, Oklahoma, Idaho, Arkansas, Alabama, Kentucky, South Dakota, and Tennessee. And I specifically asked for this list because I just want to make sure that I can sleep at night knowing we're all on the exact same page. Until I know that you know how severely impacted these top 10 states are going to be with the policies that are in this big, beautiful bill. This big, beautiful bill is about to blow up rural America. I know I'm speaking to you right now when I say that you know somebody who is on social services of some sort, whether that's a single mom, whether that's an elderly person, whether that's somebody with a disability, or that's somebody who has a diabetic foot ulcer. I know the patient populations in rural communities. I have spent my entire medical career learning from rural physicians in a rural place, okay? And what is happening in the fine print, in the language y'all don't usually speak, because who does? Are things that are going to destroy the livelihoods of so many hundreds of thousands of people in your communities, wreck your economies, rip away resources, rip away opportunities, and leave you in the dust. Even if you're somebody who lives in one of these places that is able to afford life and your family and you don't rely on any government services at all, I want you to consider what would happen if you couldn't utilize those services for your mom, your dad. I want you to imagine what would happen if all of a sudden your child had a crazy accident and you needed a ridiculous amount of hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of durable medical equipment. 29% of the population in West Virginia is on Medicaid. Wyoming, 43,000 people. You got to consider the population of the state as a whole too, okay? So these are large percentages of the populations. Oklahoma, how many people in Oklahoma? Hold on. 25% of the population is enrolled in Medicaid. Medicaid, that's not the senior citizens. Those aren't even the elderly people. Those are the young people, the kids, the young adults, the moms. In Oklahoma, the average income per capita is $58,500. The median household income is $59,700. In this bill, it states that anybody making under, I think it's $50,000, will be seeing an increase in taxes. I'm sure anybody making less than $50,000, no matter what state you live in right now, is having a really hard time. Are you not? So now the plan is not only to increase the taxes that you're paying on the minimal income that you do make, but also remove your access to government services like Medicaid. Why? Because you're an able-bodied young person. You should be able to handle it. Sorry. Oh, we don't believe in college here. It brainwashes you. So we're capping our population's ability to continue to climb those ladders of socioeconomic status by being able to obtain high-paying jobs that provide you with insurance benefits. Those things aren't available if you're working trade jobs. And there's nothing wrong with working trade jobs. That's why we're fine paying y'all's Medicaid. But when you take that away, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Do you know how much it costs to buy diabetes, hypertension, high cholesterol, and pain medicine without Medicaid? It's not just the people of color that are benefiting from these services, and that's what you're not understanding. If you take the population at large, yes, there are a high percentage of people in places like California that are relying on these services, and maybe you don't think that you owe that to them. But if you don't think you owe it to your own community, then you need to look in the mirror. The comments are open to respectful people, but I am a big fan of the block button. All to benefit the person who built his entire campaign by exploiting the very things that y'all care about the most based on your religious beliefs and your morals and your values, being hardworking, pull up your bootstraps, go on, get them, wipe your tears away people. He did that on purpose, and it is so sick. It's so sick because whether...
I think one of the reasons why so many rural people voted MAGA is if you come to a small town, which my family is largely from, you see it's generations of people who haven't done anything with themselves other than be exactly where they are. So they come for entire people, groups of people, ethnicities of people who have done everything they can to be somewhere else. I would probably be a little bitter and jealous too. And I taught my son this weekend, look around you. You'll be able to pick it out. And if they're going to be so good at picking people out and isolating others, you can turn the energy around. And it's crazy that so many people who would be so against so many things, who would probably benefit from some kind of dental care at least, would be so blind and ignorant to whether or not they would be able to get it, or other people could as well.
These rural towns, mostly in red states, are really about to be in the find out. First, let me tell you what the Trump administration did with this big, beautiful bill that they think is pretty slick. You see, most of these things with Medicaid cuts aren't going to go into effect until 3.5 years down the line. When is that? When Donald Trump is no longer president. You see, he doesn't want to be able to take credit. He doesn't want anyone to blame him for hospitals closing and people losing their Medicaid. So he delayed everything until he's out of office. And so what he gets to do with this is he gets to say that, oh, all of the things that are happening to these hospitals and with Medicaid and everything, that's all Joe Biden's fault, because my stuff doesn't kick in for 3 years. Then when it were to kick in, if it is to kick in, it's going to get worse. So for the most part, the next president, probably a Democrat, is going to have to come in and overturn all the things that he did just so people don't lose their Medicaid and a lot of these hospitals don't close up. But unfortunately, many of these hospitals are anticipating what's to come, and they're already planning that they're going to have to close up in the next 3 to 7 years. But you have J.D. Vance out there, of course, blaming Joe Biden for everything that's going on right now during the Trump administration, and out here saying that they put in provisions and they put in fail-safes so that rural hospitals won't have to close. Meanwhile, rural hospitals are planning on closing. So let's listen to J.D. Vance with this bullshit talking about they're saving rural hospitals when we know that's not the truth. First of all, let me point out, did you notice when he was saying all the bullshit, all the stuff none of these people have ever heard of, he got no applause at all. So then he decided to go to the Trump card. He went to the card, the ace of spades, which is the racism. He's like, nobody's cheering when I'm talking about healthcare and Medicaid and rural hospitals. You know what? Illegal aliens need to get the hell out of here. We want them out of here. We're getting the Mexican people out of here. And then all of a sudden the racists are like, yeah, because they know that. They understand the racism. That's the part they love the most about Donald Trump. You see, policy means nothing to them. They don't care that their gas prices and grocery prices are still going up. They don't care about that. They care that, one, they think they're owning the libs, and two, the racism. They like the fact that J.D. Vance and Donald Trump are as racist as they are. And let me point something else out. He's talking about all the problems during the Biden administration. You know what? If you Google rural hospital closures during Biden's administration, you don't find a bunch of articles about that. But during the Trump administration, you find a bunch of articles about rural hospitals that are anticipating having to close, and it is because of the cuts to Medicaid in the big beautiful bill. That is the only reason. That's the only reason they cite when they talk about their rural hospitals closing. Don't believe me? Here's a video of a news station talking about a hospital closing in their area because of all the cuts to Medicaid. The fact that this administration is trying to claim that this isn't happening when we could easily access the information that proves it's happening right now is fucking crazy. But this is how dumb they know the MAGAs are. And if that's not enough for you, here's another article about 9 rural hospitals in Illinois that are also at risk of being closed, along with a video that talks about how the big beautiful bill bill is cutting millions of people off of their Medicare.
As a person that's had MAGA family their whole life, even before it was called MAGA, I can tell you that they have always been able to dish it, but never been able to take it. Not ever. These people are so fucking mean, okay? And they always have been. My father is from deep rural southeast Missouri. I still live in Missouri, but I live in Kansas City today, a stunning oasis compared to the rest of Missouri. But my dad left home when he was 18 to go to college, literally for the reason of wanting to make a better life for himself, because he grew up in a tiny, deep red, incredibly racist, incredibly sexist town with a single mother. So like, he had a lot of this knowledge that life wasn't going too well for them, you know? And his mom tried really hard. She wasn't perfect, but she did her best, but their circumstances were not the best, and he knew he needed to go get an education and go do something else. So he got a football scholarship for his first year, and then he worked to cover the other years. And I think he also got other financial help from other places, but he busted his ass to leave this town, to go to college, to make a better life for now me and my sibling. Like, literally, he knew from that very young age that he wanted kids, that he wanted a family, that he just wanted a better life for himself. You know what my family, still back in southeast Missouri, still calls him to this day? A traitor. They call him a family traitor for leaving southeast Missouri, for leaving them behind, and they call him elitist because he wanted to go live in the city. He wanted a better life because, you know, we settled in Kansas City, which is a decent sized city. It's not huge, but it's, you know, we've got tall buildings. There's a lot of stuff to do around here. And literally this started from the moment he went to college. They started saying this the moment he left, and he is now 50 years old. And they still say this to him whenever he shows up. And earlier this year, well, actually, I guess it was late last year when Trump won the election, they just fucking started spamming him texts about Trump. And my father was dark woke before dark woke was a thing, because he is on the left, but he will be mean about it, okay? He will spout left-wing talking points in your face with the vigor of a Fox News conservative talk show host. He's not super nice about it all the time, but like, they started it and they're also not nice about it, so like, who gives a fuck, right? But literally last year Missouri was putting abortion on the ballot. They're putting it on the ballot again next year. Love living in a fascist state that doesn't give a fuck what their citizens want. But it was on the ballot last year. And so my dad, being the good person that he is, was trying to get them to vote in favor of, you know, allowing abortion to be legal in this state. And they literally were like, no, baby killer, blah, blah, blah. Here's some lore about my father. His mom had an abortion before she had him, okay? And they were pulling out that fact, and they were saying like, your mom's a baby killer, your mom, you know, his mom's dead now, by the way. Yeah, she's dead. She can't defend herself. But they just said these things to him just out of the kindness of their own hearts. And I just fucking hate when MAGA acts as if they're all like, oh, we just want to be left alone. We just stop shoving all your stuff in my face. Like, if you would just let us live, we wouldn't bother you. It's like, that's not true. Because you've been bothering and shitting all over my father and us too. Like, by association, like, they don't like me or my sibling or my mom really either. We're all city elitists, even though we literally live in a mid-sized Midwest city. It's not fucking New York over here. It's not even Chicago. And they've been so fucking mean to us. Our whole lives. And I hate it when conservatives get on this app and act like they're the victims. It's like, no, you're fucking not. I know you've been this way to people your whole life. You've always been assholes. My father literally cut ties with a lot of his family this year because they kept just fucking antagonizing him about Trump and texting him about Trump and telling him how they like that the libs get upset when they talk about it, the libs being him, right? And they're his fucking family. Like, he grew up with them. He was actually like close with these people at one time. These are people that helped raise him. And then they decided they hated him when he went off to college, that he was an elitist, that he was a traitor to the family because he decided to go try and build a better life. So I don't want to fucking hear it from y'all. You've been mean, you've been shitty for as long as I can remember, and you can't make excuses, okay? I know you guys. I grew up with you guys.
Guys, fellow members of the Blue Hair Brigade, why are they crashing out over Cracker Barrel now? What did we do? Who infiltrated? The same people that talk about things, people reacting weirdly to stuff. Why are they crashing out over Cracker Barrel? I thought they had Dunkin' and like American Eagle jeans and whatever. Cracker Barrel's not going to get the Bud Light treatment, are they? They're not going to go pew up. I don't know. Like, I'm confused. Who's eaten at a Cracker Barrel recently? I got one next to my house. I ain't been in there. Other than saying you get off at the Cracker Barrel exit to get, off the interstate to get to my house, I really don't think about them much enough to care. This is where they're spending energy? Is it because they didn't have anywhere to eat after they went to American Eagle or whatever? I don't understand what's going on. Does this somehow affect national values, family values? I didn't know family values were in Cracker Barrel. Is it because they can't get the tacky shirts anymore? Or will the PTA moms buy their clothes? Like, what's the deal? I don't know. Could somebody explain it to me?
Hello, brothers and sisters. I really hope you're all doing fine from wherever you are watching me from now. We've been seeing a lot of MAGA supporters coming out to regret their vote publicly. Some of them crying out to the black community and to the outside world to help them through whatever they are going right now. Now, it must be remembered that these are the same people who went to vote for the same government they are complaining about. Now, it reaches a time when we need to tell the other the truth. A lot of things have been happening, and most people feel like to blame it to other people. Now, I've been talking about white fragility. I've been talking about other sensitive topics that we really need to understand and how this has manifested itself in our societies. Back in the years when the children of Africa were taken from this land and taken to the other side of the world, maybe in one way or the other to make their countries great, later on their countries became great. No recognition has ever been given to the slaves who worked so hard, who were stripped of their culture, stripped of their values, stripped of everything that they had, and they were given things that did not belong to them. Most of them suffered a lot, worked for free without being paid for years, for 400 years, to realize the economy of these countries. Now, most of the people now are turning against the same people who helped build their countries. The same people who have been there for 400 years. The same people who have been there making sure that their economy is very stable. Do you know the work that was done by the black slaves is whatever realized the Industrial Revolution in the US and in Europe? If you are very keen, one of the factors that led to Industrial Revolution in the world was labor. And one of the key factors that made the US a superpower, that made Europe a big economy in the world, is the fact that Industrial Revolution took place, which changed the game, which brought in new inventions. Actually, it is because of the labor in the farms, it is because of the labor everywhere that this Industrial Revolution came to take place. Now, if a lot of credit were to be given, then it should have been given to the slaves. But now look at whatever is happening. Most black people have now been alienated, are now being seen as a burden to these countries. Some of them who go for many shifts in a day to earn a living, And these are the things that most people do not see. Do you know, when we start talking about the history of the US, now let's dig deep into the history of US, let alone the history that was taught to you that belonged to Sir Columbus. The history of the US really dictates that, and it's very clear. The early inhabitants of the US soil were Red Indians, you know. These were the earliest people who were there. So it means if credit were to be given who belongs where and who is who, then Red Indians have the privilege to be the real owners or the early inhabitants of the US soil. Now, after many people did come from Spain, Mexico, and other countries to inhabit this, then they chased away the Red Indians. Not just chasing away, but sidelining them on the other side. And they now started proclaiming that was their land, you know. And for that one reason, they have never recognized that this land did not belong to some of the people who claim that this is their land. Now, so many things have been happening, and you all assume that Sir Columbus told you the truth. You all assume that the history that is being taught in the books in the US is the truth. The history that has destroyed the world is the same thing many people want to vote for over and over again. Now, when it backfires back on them, that's when I draw the explanation of white fragility, of someone not even willing to admit whatever they have done. They always find someone else to put the blame on. So if we want to build the US, make US great again, as they say it, you can't build by destroying others. That has never worked. You can't have a kingdom and you want to expand your kingdom by actually destroying the same people who built the kingdom that you want to expand. You know, you can't unalive or you can't deport the same people who realized the Industrial Revolution in your country. Those people who revolutionized the game, those who the people who built and brought civilization to you. It is Industrial Revolution that brought civilization. Not talk about the other things you hear about. And what led to Industrial Revolution and the civilization that it came up with? It is the labor that was realized by the black slaves. So whenever you are going to vote, whenever you are going to actually exercise your constitutional right, you also must put in mind or remember that and now you want to tell me the oppressor is feeling oppressed. Let's just be honest here. You know, when you're used to getting free things, when you're used to be the dominant figure, the dominant person, you know, and suddenly things are not working out for you, how do you feel? That's the same way people are feeling right now. They have enjoyed supremacy. They have had all the privileges in the world. They could literally do anything. They could literally vote you out. They could literally bring in new policies that affect the people they don't like. And they are so much okay with, as long as they do not affect them. Now, things are not happening the same way they thought. The people who were once oppressed are never talking, are not even complaining. They are so much quiet in that they are panicking at the moment, you know. They have panicked already. What's not happening? Some of them even are going ahead to say that they voted their own interest against their own interest. You know, when most people go to the ballot, they want to exercise their right. And some of them go ahead to violate or vote against themselves. And this is the most interesting part, that they only realize this 2 months after they have done it. And they will always do the same mistake, thinking that the other one didn't work well, this one is going to work well. Now, voting against yourself is the worst thing you can show, the biggest hatred you can show to yourself. Because why do you vote for someone to be kicked out and you really know they can't be kicked out? Where do you want to deport the black community to? it's almost impossible because these people have been here for 400 years. They qualify to be original citizens of this country. Even most white people, some of them came and found the black people in the US. So it is very, very sad to see how people have been mistreating them, from the police brutality and everything else that has been done to the black community. Is this the time? I've always said that the black community should come out, unite. You know, it is the biggest force that the US can see at the moment, the unity of the black people. And the system that has been oppressing them, the system that has been against them for all this while, now the system fears the unity of the black community or the unity of any minority group in the US. Let it be remembered that most of the citizens in the US have not even understood their own culture, where and their history, where the US has come from and where it is going to. Most of the people, some of them I mean, have not been very keen to study whatever is true, but they have bought the lie that has been written in books, the lie that has been spread on social media platforms, and all these other things that seems to make the US a supreme country, a country that there is no other like that, you know. This is the biggest lie that you've been told. And this is why most of the people are now realizing that the American dream is a lie. Because tell me, a country that has been built on the backs of another minority group, a country which does not believe in uniting the people, socialism and all this. I do not root for socialism, but it is one of that country that you have to work hard. You have to work, pay your bills, work, pay your bills, work, pay taxes, you know. And there is no time for yourself. There is no time to build yourself and make yourself. The few people who are millionaires and billionaires are the same people who have connection to the system. But it is very hard for you to make it in a system that is very oppressive, in a system that taxes you, and a system that doesn't want to see you grow. You know, and that's where you see everything is being taxed. Now, these are the same people now who are going out to vote against their own interest in a system that has never had them or taken keen interest of whatever they want. A system that overtaxes them, a system that is there to oppress and oversee brutality on minor communities. So if we want to change the narrative, if we want to bring something, or if we really want to see a change that we've admired for a long time, then we are the people to make the change. We are the people to call out these politicians. We are the people to call out the system. The system has been set for you to believe in it. A system has been set for you to believe in your parties. A system has been set for you to be like you've been torn in between two candidates, two political candidates. One belongs to your rival. Now you have to vote the one that is in your party. However much their history is bad, however much they have had criminal records, you don't have an option rather than to go and vote for whatever the system wants, because it has given you two choices and you do not like the other choice because you believe they are your rivals. So it is the people who should realize that the US or any other country is not there to work for your interest. Most people are sent to power to protect their interest. Most people are sent to power to protect whatever they have taken away from you. And you, who is there, thinks that they are sent to power to help you. There is a lot more we need to learn. The lie, the biggest lie that the system has sold to you is that politicians are elected to make your lives better. It's a big lie. Politicians are elected to oversee the interest of the same system and the interest of the people who have been close to them or who manages the system. So, brothers and sisters, do not be lied to. Let's keep our cool and rise back and be united. The only thing that can defeat arrogance is unity. And by unity, there is so much wisdom that comes with it. There is so much that we can talk about in unity. But the only thing at the moment which can stop all that we see, the things that are happening, is unity. Do not go and vote your brother and sister against your brother and sister. You might also be voting for yourself against yourself. Your interests are maybe someone else's interest. So always prefer for the interest before anything else, before the party and before the candidates that have been presented to you. Thank you so much.